Alright, today we're going to review a Canadian IMP or individual meal pack. And for this one I find myself in a position of having two of the same menu. These both are beans and wieners, which is actually one of my favorite names of a ration of all time. US MREs have some unfortunate named rations, kind of like boring more than anything else. Things like tuna, ham slice, just not very imaginative. Beans and wieners, it just sounds fun. It sounds like a real camping food. You have these IMPs that come in these brown bags that look like a brown bag lunch, and then you give it a name like beans and wieners, and it just, it's kind of cool. So I did end up with two examples of this menu. This one came from Multi-Magnum 62, and this one came from Black Dog Bob. And having the duplicates is going to give us an opportunity to do something kind of interesting, I think. While they're both the same menu, they're actually from different years. This one is from 2015, and this one is from 2016. The menu numbers changed. 2015 it was menu number 6, and 2016 it was menu number 1. Other than that, I really have no idea what the difference is going to be. And I guess you could say the bag coloring is slightly different. This one's a little bit lighter than this one. But as I said, I don't really know inside what's going to be different, if they're going to be exactly the same. So I thought just to give us an opportunity, we'll do a quick comparison before we review the 2016 one. So let's take a quick look at the components in each of these, do a little comparison, and then go right into the review. And we'll start off by taking a look at the 2015 Beans and Wieners, menu number 6. And there may not turn out to be very many differences between these. It may not be the most exciting thing, but I'm kind of looking forward to checking this all out. So here we have the beans and wieners, the ingredients, and the nutrition facts. This one is a date code, a 5-digit date code of 14190, meaning that this entree was packed on the 190th day of 2014. We have a dessert from the 363rd day of 2014. Of sliced pears. And here is the plain hamburger, or hamburger bun, which I think 2014, 2013, somewhere around there was when they switched over to these from the standard loaf of bread. We have a chilled cappuccino protein drink, apple and brown sugar crunch cereal, grape sports drink. Here is espresso roast coffee, whitener for tea and coffee. There's some sugar. Moist towelette. Raspberry jam. Frank's Red Hot sauce. Some chewing gum. Basically the same as what you'd find in a US MRE. The long IMP spoon. The IMP napkin. Paper towel, whatever you want to call it. Matches, and the Canadian beverage bag. And here is the 2016 Beans and Wieners. Let's go ahead and take a look inside of this one. Here's the beans and wieners, the entree. It says a date code on it of 15147, the 5-digit date code. So this is a 2016 IMP, and the entree was packed on the 147th day of 2015. For the dessert, we have, packed on the 196th day of 2015, sliced peaches. We also have standard hamburger bun. We have apple brown sugar crunchy cereal. To me, beans and wieners could be a breakfast, a lunch, or a dinner, but obviously it certainly goes well with the breakfast, and having the crunchy cereal indicates that this is a breakfast menu. We also have a grape sports drink, peanut butter, a Soldier Fuel real chocolate energy bar, Nescafe Sweet and Creamy. I'm guessing this is basically a 3-in-1 that's going to have your coffee, creamer, and sugar all inside of it. And here we have strawberry jam, the long IMP spoon, the great IMP beverage bag with the gusseted bottom. Oh, this is kind of neat. A little packet of Tic Tacs. You have 4 Tic Tacs in there. Fresh mint. Frank's Red Hut. Moist towelette. Matches. And the IMP napkin, which can be, as I mentioned a number of times, can be whatever you need it to be. It's a very large piece of apparently recycled paper. It can be a napkin, it can be a place setting, it can be toilet paper, it can be a fire starter, it can be whatever you need it to be. Alright, and here are all the components of the 2015 and 2016 Beans and Wieners IMP laid out. Now obviously there isn't a heck of a lot different between them. It's not the most exciting comparison, I suppose. They are both Beans and Wieners from just 1 year apart. But considering that, there are quite a few changes. And I think it's kind of interesting that rather than just put out the exact same menu year after year, just from 1 year to another, they actually do make some changes to keep it kind of interesting and make it a little bit different. While the entrees are the same, the 2015 came with sliced pears, and the 2016 came with sliced peaches. So there's one little difference, very minor, but I'm sure it'd be appreciated by anybody that would realize it. They both have the Hamburger Bun and the crunchy cereal, and they also both have the Grape sports drink. I was kind of thinking that might get changed up a little bit. The accessories are basically all the same, but it's kind of neat that they went from the standard MRE chewing gum in 2015 to these Tic Tacs in 2016. And they went from the espresso coffee with sugar and whitener to the Nescafe 3-in-1, which obviously means that they don't need to put in the sugar and the creamer or whitener. For a spread, this one just has the raspberry jam. In 2016 they switched to strawberry jam, and they also added peanut butter, so you can go ahead and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on your hamburger bun if you want. And I think overall the biggest difference is that they actually cut down a beverage on the 2016 one. 2015 had 3 beverages. It had the grape sports drink, the coffee, basically the same thing you have in 2016, but they also had the chilled cappuccino protein drink. In 2016, they replaced that with a Soldier Fuel bar. I guess they figured there was enough beverages without having a third one. So my guess is that these are going to be pretty similar in calorie and nutrition content. It might be interesting to take a look and just count up the calories and see just how even they are. But that's the comparison between the 2015 and the 2016. And now we're going to go ahead and review the 2016 version of Beans and Wieners. And we're going to start off by heating up the Beans and Wieners in some hot water. The date code on this is 15147, and it's from Baxter's. And even though there isn't much of a difference between the 2015 and the 2016 ones, since I do have this one, I do have plans to do a review with this one too. Sort of a way to make it kind of interesting even though it's a review of the same menu. Stay tuned for that. Alright, and while that heats up, we'll go ahead and check everything else out. And I also went ahead and did a little comparison of the calorie count. And the 2016 one actually did go up quite a bit. I added up everything that had the nutritional facts labeled, and the 2015 one had 1,088 calories, not counting the coffee, whitener, jam, or hot sauce. The coffee did say it has 11 calories and the whitener has 20, but I didn't count them because the Nescafe 3-in-1 in the 2016 one wasn't labeled, so I didn't have anything to base that off of. So 31 calories isn't that much anyway. So that was 1,088 for the 2015. The 2016, not counting the peanut butter, jam, hot sauce, and coffee, which also has cream and sugar in it, was 1,320 calories. So they basically managed to squeeze in an extra 232 calories between 2015 and 2016. I will say I like to put the hamburger bun in this little compartment here because it fits in there perfectly, but because we do have the sliced peaches, we'll go ahead and put those in there instead. These are from Baxter's. It smells like your standard canned or in those little cups peaches that you give to kids. It seems to be looking a little bit on the dark side for something that's not even 3 years old, but it smells fine, and I'm anticipating it will be fine. The apple and brown sugar crunchy cereal just says to add hot or cold water to taste. So it can be either hot or cold, and put as much or as little as you want. Basically just smells like oatmeal. I guess I'm smelling a little bit of the apple coming off of there. Maybe a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to go with cold water. It kind of looks like an oatmeal or granola type cereal. Obviously if I added hot water it would be a lot like oatmeal. And it looks pretty similar to the US MRE blueberries with milk and granola cereal or the banana with milk and cereal. Alright, by mistake I opened up the hamburger bun while the camera was not turned on. I thought it was. So next we have the hamburger bun, which this is something that would actually be great to use with the beans and wieners to kind of sop up some of the sauce. I think it's going to be a lot of liquid in there, and that would certainly be a great use for the bread. But seeing as how we have both peanut butter and strawberry jam, I'm going to go ahead and make a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of these. Give the peanut butter a good knead. And we'll top that with some strawberry jam. So even though you already have a full-size entree, you kind of have almost a second meal here with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the last thing to eat in here will be the Soldier Fuel bar. It has kind of a standard energy bar chocolatey smell. It definitely smells like chocolate, but it's not the most natural smelling chocolate around. If you've had an energy bar, you probably know what I'm talking about. And you can also see the little crispies in there. Give it a nice little crunch, a little bit extra texture. And as I mentioned, probably the biggest difference between the 2015 and 2016 Beans and Wieners IMP was that the 2015 one had the cappuccino protein drink, which was replaced in 2016 by the Soldier Fuel bar. The cappuccino drink had 108 calories. The Soldier Fuel bar has 280. So that's probably a big part of the difference between the calories for the two IMPs. While there is more calories in the Soldier Fuel bar, the cappuccino protein drink, being a protein drink, had 18 grams of protein, while the Soldier Fuel bar only has 10. 10 is a good amount, but compared to 18, it's quite a bit less. The Grape sports drink says to add the contents to the beverage bag and mix with 250 milliliters of water. So we'll go ahead and do that. Actually, what we're going to do is, on the field, you're probably not likely to have a way to measure your liquids. So we're going to go ahead and use the line on the bag. And actually, this is the first time, this is another difference between this and older IMPs. I hadn't seen this before. They do have a fill line, but these two have two. These two have one for sports drinks and one for coffee. They're a little bit different. Now it says sports drink / coffee. So I guess they just recommend you having one standard amount for whatever you're going to use this for. Seems a bit more of a expected grape drink color than that electric blue that the US MRE seem to have nowadays. Let's add this up to the fill line. You do want to make sure that the gusset is open when you're filling this, otherwise you're going to get quite a bit less than you're supposed to get. And give that a good shake. Quite dark. That leaves us with our Nescafe Sweet and Creamy coffee. And that does indeed smell pretty sweet. It doesn't really smell much like coffee, but definitely has a sweetness to it. Now it smells like coffee. And that just leaves us with the star of the show, the Baxter's Beans and Wieners. One thing I will say, when this was heated up, I had it basically in boiling water, and the bag, the pouch, was actually it felt very full. It was almost bulging. And that normally is a bad sign with MREs and other ready-to-eat type meals and retort pouches. When things are bulging, it usually means that the stuff inside has gone bad, and it's breeding, basically, botulism. In this case, it's just because of the fact that it was heated up. When I took it out of the box, it was fine. It's just a matter of how it was heating up. And just since I took it out, it's actually gone down a little bit. And it's got that smell of hot dogs and beans, or beans and wieners. It smells like camping. And there's your beans and wieners. That's pretty much what it looks like, and that's pretty much what it is. Like I said, it kind of smells like camping. I mean, this is a very classic type of a camping food. And it's in a tomato-based sauce. I think the beans are having a lot to do with changing that. One thing I like about this before even trying it is that US MREs have a lot of tomato-based sauces, and they're all basically pasta sauces, which can be acidic. If you're not into them, you're basically almost half the menus, it seems like you're already not going to like. This, even though it is tomato-based, it isn't really it's not like a pasta sauce. It's on a thick side. Let's try everything at once. And the wieners are actually a turkey sausage, according to the ingredients. Pretty good chunks. Not a ton of them in there, but the ones that are in there are good size. That's good. It's nothing gourmet or spectacular, but it really is a classic, sticks to your ribs kind of a hearty comfort food. And like I said, when you think of camping, the beans are fine. The good baked beans. They definitely have a canned bean kind of flavor. Nothing to be surprised about. Just like the pasta dishes and MREs taste like the Chef Boyardee. This tastes like it's pork and beans out of a can. The wieners, or hot dogs, or sausages, as it were, they're not quite as soft as I was expecting them. They're still not incredibly firm, but they have a little bit more to them than like a Vienna sausage kind of thing like you find in some of the other sausage-based IMPs and rations from some of the other countries. So it does have a little bit of a bite to it. It's kind of bland on its own, the sausage. The beans actually have more flavor than the sausage does, I guess, with the spices and the sauce. They go well together, though. And yeah, I do like these. I think the overall package that you get from this, especially since the beans are on the soft side, it's nice that the sausages aren't quite as soft. And since they did give us the Frank's Red Hut, let's just try a little bit of that. Let's see how that changes things up. I don't think it needs it. It's not... The sausages themselves are a little bit on the bland side. If it was just the sausages, I would say it definitely needs something, some salt or some kind of a kick. But with the beans, it really is just fine. It has just enough flavor. It's not overpowering, but it's flavorful. Yeah, that basically makes it taste like Frank's Red Hut. So if you find this boring or just not really to your taste, you may like hot sauce, it's definitely a way to go. Let me try a little of the 3-in-1 coffee while it's still hot. And that's actually quite tasty. It does seem to have extra sweetness beyond regular sugar, with the sweet and creamy. Almost like a caramel kind of a taste to it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Obviously, somebody who drinks black coffee is out of luck. They don't really have the choice to put in the cream or sugar or leave them out however they want. I'm going to try these peaches. As I said, they look a little on the dark side, but not too bad. And not surprisingly, they taste just fine. They're in this syrup. It's not too heavy. Adds a little bit of sweetness. Has some sugar in there, but it's basically Closest you're going to get to having fresh fruit in a military ration. I also want to try this cereal. I did go with the cold water, so there really wasn't so much of a rush to get to this. I think this is going to be pretty refreshing too. It's a good way to start your day for breakfast. But let's see what it tastes like. Yeah, I wouldn't say it has crunch. You can definitely feel the oats when you're biting into them. But I think if I had eaten it right away, it would be a little bit crunchier. But the lack of crunch doesn't take away from the flavor. It tastes really good. I'm guessing it has a little bit of dry milk in there. I think there's little pieces of apple, probably freeze-dried apple. Not a lot from the brown sugar. It has an overall sweetness, but not overpowering. Like a lot of international rations, they don't overdo the sweetness. I think that's for the best. I do want to try the Soldier Fuel bar, which is actually getting some of the cereal on it. And that's good. It's very chewy. Pretty much what you'd expect from an energy bar. And that chocolate flavor, while it's definitely on the imitation kind of side, it's not bad. And it has a lot of crunch with those little cereal bits in there. And it certainly packs a wallop, calorie and protein-wise. It's the kind of thing where I think you might have this meal and save the energy bar for when you need it. Keep that in your pocket for when you need a little extra jolt of energy. And actually, you know what? Since I didn't put this together yet, we can actually do a little bit of sopping up of the tomato sauce and the beans. That's good. I think you could even make a beans and wieners sandwich out of this if you wanted to. But since we're using everything, we have the peanut butter and jelly. We'll try that as a sandwich. That's good. The bread, or the bun, isn't as it's not as dense and kind of artificial seeming as U.S. wheat snack bread, but it's still quite dry on the dense side. And when you have the peanut butter in there, it does take quite a bit of chewing, and it does make you pretty thirsty. The strawberry jam sets it off nice. Overall, it's a great taste, but it does make you pretty thirsty. And so we'll finish up with the grape sports drink. And that's really good. It tastes like a Kool-Aid kind of a thing. Not exactly the same as the US one, but not too much different either. It's still a pretty artificial grape flavor, but it's fine for what it is. If you don't want something that's sweet, you can always water it down some more, or just have plain water. That's pretty much everything eaten there, but we do need to try out these little Tic Tacs here. Just squeeze one out of there. That is the Fresh Mint Tic Tac. I'm not sure how familiar people are with Tic Tacs, but in the US, these are at every grocery store in the checkout line. And that's good. It's a nice little change up from the gum. Gives you basically the same flavor as the gum, but if you're getting gum with every meal, it's nice to get something that's like a mint instead of a chewing gum. Overall, I'd say everything was pretty excellent in this one. That was a look at a 2016 IMP, or individual meal pack from Canada. This is menu number 1, beans and wieners. Thank you for watching. And I completely forgot that I had actually saved a little bit of the strawberry jam and figured that could go on the cereal. As I said, it was a little bit, I'm not complaining about it, but it was a little bit, for something that was apple and brown sugar, it didn't really have a lot of flavor to it. So I figure adding a little bit of strawberry jam might be just the thing for it. Yeah, that's nice. It's one of those things that doesn't need it, but it's a nice little extra touch. So once again, thank you for watching.